Oh my goodness, well, this reading is really interesting. I was just watching these ones about near-death experiences, and this guy was 14 when he had a near-death experience. And it was really kind of different. Now, when I pulled the cards, the first 5 cards are all major arcana. Yeah, all 5. Now, that never happens. And then the 3, then the ones underneath the surface, you know, when I pull what's underneath of it, out of 5 cards, 3 again are major arcana. So a big deal with this. Wow. So I'm going to show you what they are. Now I read the major arcana last, even though this is in the center. In the first card out was about the secrets, the hidden things. Okay. Now, Mickey, he's after my cards. Mickey, down. Trying to get this together without him. Okay. Try to get these all in. So at the center of it is the card of the secrets, the hidden things. Now above it, this was his life at home, where he was at, the grounded things, and then we have the action going forward. The foundation was, you know, that he went on this journey. All of these things were up in the air, things that he had experienced, and what was offered. No, you cannot have that card. What was offered to him, and keeping the lid on the Pandora's box. Now he had, and I'll put the link to this in the description so you could listen to it if you want to. He had paranormal abilities. And when he went to the other side, they asked him if he wanted to keep him. He said, no, I want to be normal. I don't want this. I don't want to be able to see the future, because what he had seen was, you know, all of the drama that we have going on now. And he just said, I don't want to see this. I want to be normal. I don't want to have these abilities. Okay. So going into it, this was the opportunity that was presented to him going forward in his life. Now again, all the rest of these are major arcana, what's driving everything. And this was the hidden things, the secrets being revealed. Going into it, this was life-changing, okay? Life-changing. This was the conscious and subconscious and coming to some sort of balance. This affected his whole world, the existence, looking deeper into it. There is this sense of justice with it, okay? There is the seeing the higher things, the judgment, and then coming to some light, okay? So very interesting read. That says, yes, this did happen to this guy. And, you know, when he left the body at first, he was, had these dark entities that came to him and were like kind of tearing at his flesh, etc. And he was, now I don't know why so many times these things happen to Catholics. He was a Catholic, okay? And so very, very interesting. A lot of these near-death experiences, it keeps coming up to, a lot of them are Catholics or atheists. Now, atheists that wind up having these totally change their view on things. Now, I would love to be able to interview and hear some stories of these near-death experiences. And I see some correlation between what they experienced and what I experienced. Now, I haven't had a near-death experience. My experience came through the Kundalini journey. The Kundalini awakened for me. In 1970, I had over a 30-year journey, okay, through it to completion in 1999, where I sat down to meditate, and all of a sudden there was no me, no world, just the divine is. That's why I call it the divine is. It's not a person. It's not an old man sitting on the throne. It is this absolute perfection of energy, wisdom, knowledge, the seed state of all existence. And it is everything that was there in my life prior, the depression and the PTSD and all the drama that I was going through was washed away as if it never happened. And it's like what the Bible says, you're born again. Okay, you're born again. First, you're born out of water, a water birth, physical birth, and then you're born into spirit. Okay, so that's what happens, and you have a whole change of your whole mental ideation. Everything changes. And when you are, like I said here, all of a sudden there was no me, no earth. There was just this divine is. It's not something you're seeing. You're not separate from it. But you know that this is I call it the 0 point balance, the zero that contains all things yet nothing. Okay? And so I see the correlation between the experience here, which was, again, life-changing, a radical change for here. And you come to understanding, and when, you come out of that, the world, everything has changed and nothing has changed. I mean, the world is still the same, nothing's changed there. But you've had such a miraculous change that everything for a few years is so expanded. Okay, I can't even, it's hard to explain and put it into words for people. But at that point, it's very expanded, and when you come out of it, I couldn't say I, because it felt so constricted. It's not that you're trying to sound overblown, but it's just the reality of things have changed so much that was impossible to say. There was I didn't want to speak with anybody. I didn't want to hear any small talk for quite some time. I had to relearn to use colloquial English. That took quite a while. It took about 5 years to settle, and from this massive expanded state. And I see, like I said, a lot of correlation, because in that space, there is no me. There was no me there. There was just this divine is. Okay? And it allows for everything to be known, and its perfection as it is, and you understand that this is the beginning and end of everything. It's the Alpha, it's the Omega, it is everything that you see in existence as part of this. And that's why you cannot say God or no God, because for God to exist, there has to be something other than, and there is nothing other than. Everything is a part of this perfection of energetic being, okay? So in that, when everything dismantles, there is just this overwhelming peace and love and perfection, okay? Now, I recognize that in these near-death experiences. Now, where I wasn't in a place of heavenly realm, hadn't seen those that had passed. I went absolutely to the core of all of this, okay, beyond that transitory happening. But I do recognize the same thing in the near-death experience, where there is just this perfection and absolute acceptance and love that is at the cornerstone of it all, okay? So I would love to be able to have people come on and tell their near-death experience stories. So if there's anyone out there that's had near-death experience, or that knows somebody that's had near-death experience, I would like to open my channel to that type of thing. Or if there are others that had the same type of thing that I did, where you totally dismantle the ego form, totally dismantles, where you have that feeling of I don't exist, nor have I ever existed as this separate entity, okay, so to speak. That at the center is that perfection, okay? And that understanding that what's happening in the transitory realm here is for experience, is for, limited experience. So anyway, yeah, I'll leave that here. And this is called Heaven Awaits, is this channel. I've never seen that channel before, and was going in thinking, oh, this is going to be one of those, overly religious type things, but it actually wasn't. And I'll leave the link to this guy's story. So very interesting, but when I pulled the cards, it was like, whoa, all major arcana. In a deck of 78 cards, there are 20 major arcana, and what came out was 5, 6, 7, 8 major arcana came out in this read, okay? Unheard of. So anyway, on that note, I'll leave this here. Now, I have to say, this is not the best near-death experience that I've heard. I've watched so many of these, and again, I keep seeing the correlation between what I had experienced and remains, and which is what Vivek's name is supposed to mean. Vivek, that discernment, that oh Lord, he's 180 degrees away from what that name means. But again, it's that coming into that alignment with that discernment 0-point balance of understanding what is underneath of it. And no matter what we see going on here, underneath of it is that absolute perfection. Yeah. Now we have free will here. We can either choose to accept the light and love, etc., or we can fight against it. But it's the same thing as I keep trying to tell people. There is karma. And when you leave the physical form, there is always a life review. And in that life review, I feel so sorry for ones like 45 and these ones that have perpetrated all these crimes, these ones that are pedophiles, etc., because what happens is when in that life review, you see everybody you have ever hurt, and you have to feel all the emotions and pain they have gone through, okay? You feel every emotion and pain you have inflicted upon them. So it is a heavy, heavy life lesson that they are not getting out of any of this, okay? So for people that think that there is not karma and that these people are just continually getting away with it, you have to have you develop some compassion, because you understand that what they're going into is a hell realm of their own making, by their own choices, by their own actions. You can't get away from it, and they will feel every single emotion, pain, hurt that they have caused to another, okay? And it will be overwhelming for these ones. So yeah, you just see them going through that torture, but it's by their own hand that they put these things into place. So on that note, anyway, I'm going to leave that here, and we'll see you online.